Midnight. Somewhere in that city, a president is making a choice. 24 hours ago, Volodymyr Zelenskyy was in Brussels. Before that, London. Before that, Paris. Free capitals. 48 hours. One mission. He wasn't on vacation. He was racing to stop a document. A peace proposal. Sounds good, right? Peace. Finally, here's what they didn't tell you on the news. Ukraine surrenders the land. Russia keeps what it took. Ukraine stays defenseless. Forever. But here's the part that involves you. Your money. Your future. $100 billion in frozen Russian assets. Meant to rebuild Ukraine's cities. America takes half the profits. Not Russian money going to Ukrainian victims. Russian money going through American banks. Into American pockets. And there's more. A separate fund. America and Russia. Partners. AI development. Mining rights. Energy deals. Your gas prices. About to spike. Because this peace deal makes Russia our business partner again. Zelenskyy flew across Europe. Met with leaders who still remember what surrender looks like. They've seen this movie before. Today, he lands in Washington with a counteroffer. 20 points. Not 28. But someone already made the decision for him. And that someone isn't in Kyiv. This is how peace dies. Not with tanks. With contracts. Remember this day? You watched Russian tanks roll into Kyiv. You saw the explosions. The refugees. The bodies. Your president called it evil. An assault on democracy. The free world versus tyranny. Congress opened your wallet. $40 billion. Then another 60. Then another. They told you it was the right thing to do. And maybe it was. At first. But watch what happens next. Watch when the weapons stop being the story. Western nations freeze $300 billion in Russian assets. Banks. Bonds. Oligarch yachts. Punishment, right? Justice. Here's what the news didn't mention. That money, it's just sitting there. Frozen. Not gone. Someone's going to use it eventually. Pentagon briefings change. The slides aren't just about missiles anymore. They're about rebuilding. Contracts. Zones of investment. And suddenly, 7 American firms file provisional claims. Reconstruction contracts. Ukraine hasn't won yet. Hell, Ukraine's still losing people every single day. But Wall Street's already dividing up the ruins. Your tax dollars bought the weapons that kept Ukraine alive. Their profit margins depend on Ukraine staying broken long enough to need rebuilding. Trump wins. Within 3 weeks, the language shifts in "oh more, Ukraine must win." Now it's Ukraine must compromise. His advisors? 3 of them sit on boards of reconstruction firms. Coincidence? By December 2025, the proposal leaks. 28 points that sound like peace. But read the fine print. America doesn't just help rebuild Ukraine. America profits from frozen Russian money while Russia gets business deals. Ukraine gets destroyed. Russia gets rewarded. America gets paid. And you? You get higher gas prices because this deal includes energy partnerships with Moscow. That's why Zelenskyy flew to Europe. 24 hours of emergency meetings. Because Europe remembers. You don't negotiate with empires. You stop them, but promises don't stop tanks and money. Money changes everything. Here's the question nobody's asking. How do you steal $100 billion that isn't yours? Money that's in Belgium, and Luxembourg, and New York. Money that's protected by international law. They told you it was frozen to punish Putin. Locked away. Untouchable. That was the story. Here's what's actually happening. You can't confiscate Russian money. That's illegal. International banking law, but you can utilize it. You can invest it. See the difference? Neither do they. That's the point. $100 billion sits in accounts America controls. Through allies. Through loopholes. Watch where it goes next. Ukraine needs rebuilding. Schools. Hospitals. Roads. American firms submit bids. Surprise. They win 60% of contracts. That who's paying them? The frozen Russian money. But here's the trick. The profit split. 50% goes to American contractors. Your neighbor's pension funds. Your senator's stock portfolios. 30% goes to Ukraine's government to actually rebuild. 20% vanishes. Administrative costs. Translation? More American middlemen. So Russian money rebuilds Ukraine. But America takes the biggest cut. Your tax dollars bought the weapons. Russia's frozen assets pay for reconstruction. and American corporations profit from both. But wait, it gets worse. Remember, this is supposed to punish Russia, make them pay. So why does the proposal include a separate $10 billion fund? America and Russia, partners in AI development, mining, energy. Russia has the world's largest rare earth deposits, cheapest energy. America has the technology, the patents. The deal makes them partners, while Ukraine's still counting bodies. And here's how it hits your wallet directly. The peace deal includes energy partnerships. Russia supplies, America distributes. Sounds efficient. Except Russia controls the valve. Again, remember 2022? When Russia cut supplies and your gas hit 550, this deal gives them that power. Forever. So let's review. Russian money rebuilds Ukraine. America profits. Russia gets business deals. You get higher prices. And they call it peace. Your household paid $400 for Ukraine since February 2022. That's what they took from your paycheck. Your bonus. Your refund. You didn't vote on it. Nobody asked. They just took it. And you probably thought it was worth it. Democracy. Freedom. The right thing. Here's what they didn't tell you. You're paying another $200 by 2026 to keep the lights on in Kiev, while Bechtel and BlackRock extract $30 billion in profits from Russian assets. Money you helped freeze. Money you thought would punish Putin. Let's talk about what's in your driveway. $3.89 a gallon. Not terrible. Could be worse. The peace deal includes energy partnerships with Russia. Sounds efficient. Except Russia controls the supply. Again, like 2022. Remember when you waited 40 minutes to fill up? When it cost $80? This deal gives Putin that power forever. He turns the valve. Your price spikes. Your commute to work just became leverage. They told you military aid created jobs. American jobs. True 47,000 jobs. That's good. Real people. Real paychecks. But you don't live in one of those 5 states, do you? 45 states paid for jobs in 5 states. Your deduction paid for their overtime. Now let's talk about what happens when Ukraine accepts no NATO. Russia repositions 300 kilometers closer to NATO territory. America has to triple defenses in Poland, Lithuania, Estonia, $50 billion over 10 years. From your taxes. Again, because when you let an empire take what it wants, it doesn't stop. Your 401k? Look at the energy sector, defense contractors, reconstruction firms. They're up 34% since Trump won. Your retirement's betting on Ukraine staying broken long enough to profit. So here's your reality. You paid to keep Ukraine alive. You'll pay to station troops near Russia's border. You'll pay more at the pump because Russia's our partner now, and they'll profit from all of it. They told you this was about democracy. The receipts say it's about money. Zelenskyy didn't go to America first. He went to the people who've seen this before. Britain, France, Germany. Emergency session. Classified. Nobody was supposed to know about this meeting, but someone leaked it anyway. Here's what they discussed. Your government doesn't want you to know. Trump's offering Ukraine a funeral. Europe's offering a lifeline on Trump's terms. Russia keeps Crimea. Donbass becomes autonomous zones. Translation: Russia won. Ukraine lost. End of story. NATO membership? Frozen for 50 years. Ukraine stays defenseless. Europe's counter? All pre-2014 borders, or the war continues. Security guarantees from Britain and France. 20 years. Boots on ground if needed. Not NATO, but close enough. The money? Europe pledged $40 billion. No profit sharing with American contractors. 70% goes to Ukraine. Not 50. Not 30. Your pension funds aren't happy about that. But here's the real problem. The alliance is cracking. America's talking to Moscow. Making deals. Energy. AI. Mining rights. Europe's talking to Kiev. Making promises. Security. Money. Weapons. Same alliance. Different wars. Trump gave Ukraine a deadline. March 2026. Accept terms or aid stops. Europe says they'll fill the gap. $40 billion. Weapons. Training. But can they? Germany's already spending 3.5% GDP on defense. France is stretched. Britain's broke. Poland's carrying everyone. And while Europe argues, Russia's already moving. Troops repositioning near Moldova, Georgia, testing how far they can push. Here's what this means for you. Your military, your alliances. If NATO splits, if Europe goes alone, Article 5 means nothing. Your security guarantee? Gone. And China's watching. Taking notes that if America abandons Ukraine for profit, why would we defend Taiwan? The empire isn't just testing Ukraine, that they're testing whether you still keep promises. 3 months. That's all Ukraine has. Accept the terms. Surrender the land. Or lose American support. The sand's running out. And nobody's coming to flip it over. Oh, let's wargame this. Free futures. Pick your nightmare. Ukraine breaks. Accepts Trump's terms by March. Russia keeps the land. Moldova falls by 2027. No resistance. No consequences for Moscow. Russian troops park 300 kilometers from Warsaw. Permanent. And then one day, they cross. By accident. On purpose. Doesn't matter. You're choosing. Send your kids to die in Poland? Or let Russia take everything? Trump cuts aid. Europe tries to fill the gap. 40 billion. 50. But they can't. Not alone. Not forever. The war freezes. Korea style. A scar across Europe that never heals. 10 million refugees stay in Europe. Permanent. Your gas taxes pay for them. Because Russia still controls energy. Still turns the valve. Still owns Europe's heating. Europe spends 200 billion a year on defense. Economies buckle. Their recession becomes your recession. Global markets collapse. This one's worse. Ukraine and Europe hold the line. Refuse surrender. Trump loses patience. Lifts sanctions on Russia anyway. Russia gets banks, energy deals, technology access, while Ukrainians still die. And China watches, takes notes, learns the lesson. America doesn't finish what it starts. America cuts deals with dictators. Taiwan falls by 2027. You didn't defend Ukraine. Why would you defend them? Free futures. Free disasters. Pick one. Right now, Zelensky's landing in Washington. Document in hand. 20 points that say no surrender. Terms that demand justice. But who's listening? The next 90 days determine the next 90 years. Democracy or profit. Promises or deals. Your word or your wallet. They're deciding your future. Without you.